So this morning I'm driving all the way from Ota, Ogun State, going to Lagos mainland, somewhere around Ogudu. So I'm currently on Lagos Abeokuta Expressway. This Lagos Songo Expressway, Lagos Ota Road. And since I left Idiroko Road, that's where around where Covenant University is, Canaan Land, all I've seen is utter darkness, utter charcoal black darkness, no power supply. I mean, across the stretch, driven for about 25 kilometers now, across different communities, there is no power supply. So these people you're seeing here are workers trying to go to work. They're looking for bus, uh, public transport. So these buses you're seeing here are Lagos public transport buses. Uh, it's just the level at which people are going through a hardship in the country. For me, there's no power supply, so they left home this morning without power supply. Whatever light you see in this video are lights coming from vehicles. I mean, vehicles, and then filling stations because they're selling fuel. Now, going to fuel, talking about fuel is currently selling at 1,240 naira at MRS filling station. Now, if you know MRS filling station, is one of the filling stations that sells Dangote refinery refined crude products. So, uh, sells Dangote refinery crude. So it means they are the ones selling the fuel that are locally produced in Nigeria. But because crude has crossed over $100 as of this morning, so it means pump price also has gone up, right? So these persons are paying almost double for transport costs, for public transportation costs. My fuel is on reserve at the moment. I'm going to buy at maybe 1, 2 thereabouts. I'm just trying to look for a filling station where I can get at maybe 1,150 per liter. I bought 2 days ago. I bought for 2 days ago at 937 naira at corn oil. But now I have over 20%, 25% increase in that pump price already. I have to go through. So there's no light. There's also scarcity of fuel. Fuel is scarce not because there's no fuel at the pump, but because people can't afford it, right? And also, I drove for about, I think, 5-10 kilometers on bad road. So coming from Obasanjo farm, there's a place called Obasanjo in Ota, all the way through Idiroko Road to Ujuri roundabout till I got to Ota, around Oba Palace, Ota. The roads were I can't call those things I drove on road. I can't call that place road. Just maybe like footpaths, so dilapidated. So this is bad road plus heightened cost of living. Yeah, I've seen 1,000. It's 1,200. Hey. Okay, high cost of living and then no power supply. The question that comes to mind is, do we have a government at all? No, I'm just. So the middle class uses literally all it has as cost of living. It's difficult to build assets. It's difficult. You have to somewhat save. That's even if you have savings to be able to get by. And getting by means recurrent expenditure, buy fuel. And this fuel is not only for our vehicles, because there's no power supply, it means you have to buy petrol for generator. Because not many persons can afford the capital costs of having inverters and solar inverters in their homes. I mean, we provide power for ourselves. Now, so in a sane environment, the president or maybe state government or whoever would have just come out this morning. Okay, because seeing that we are affected by the US-Iran war and US-Israel-Iran war, and then the Strait of Hormuz and all those assets being destroyed by bombs and all those things. That okay, to ameliorate or to reduce the cost of hardship, or the hardship that our people are facing. That okay, we want to, I'm not saying you should return subsidy, but want to see how we can give, fix a local price for crude oil. Oh, okay. So Dangote refinery CEO was talking yesterday. I just said this morning on Nigeria Info. He said, the so this is Abule Egba. In 400 meters. So Dangote refinery CEO was talking, and he said, "You can cross, please. You can cross. Yeah, thank you." And he said, besides getting crude oil at international benchmark prices, despite the crude for naira program, simply means you have to pay the naira equivalent of the international price. That they are also having to pay freight, that's cost of moving the oil, and insurance at international benchmark prices too. Turn left. Pay insurance at international benchmark prices. You don't know. I don't know if those international benchmark prices, those insurance companies are local insurance companies. I don't know if they are local insurance companies. If they are not local, then we are done for. Simply means money is going out to outside insurance companies, outside international insurance companies, to come and insure fuel being moved from Nigerian refineries to from Nigerian oil rigs to Nigerian refineries. You understand? So, whereas I checked insurance stock yesterday, it was red. The majority of insurance stock on Nigerian Stock Exchange yesterday made significant loss. So if you bought Sunni Insurance, you bought Sovereign Insurance, Guinea Insurance, Mans, I don't know the stock. For the most part, they were minus, at least day to day. I mean, Friday to Monday stock down. If you give them insurance contracts and their revenues go up, remember that we are very underinsured in Nigeria. Many of these vehicles you see in this video are on third-party insurance, 15,000 naira. They can't afford comprehensive insurance, And also, there is a statistic that says less than 5% of Nigerians own vehicles. So you can see people at junctions early in the morning trying to get to their work. Why are they waking up as early as this? Because they can't stay close to work. They can't afford to stay close to where they work. So persons are going from Ota, Ogun State, to Victoria Island every morning. I mean, I'm just asking, does the government see this level of hardship? I learned this morning also that a military base in Borno was run over by ISWAP. And the lieutenant colonel was killed too. So there's also insecurity in the land. Yesterday, I got news that the death toll from insecurity in Nigeria are similar to wartime numbers. That's as similar to if Nigeria were to be at war. Whereas we are actually not at official war. But this is some level of, is there government in the land? That's the question I'm asking. That's all. Or if there is, what kind of government do we have? And this is not about APC, PDP. This is historical. It is cultural. It is the culture of a government over the years. At least I've been following government at least since Abacha's days. It is just the same. There's this seeming lack of empathy. There's just this seeming lack of empathy. So how do I tie this back to my believer? Because I'm a Christian and I publish content to help our everyday life. So you're in the midst of all this and you're caught in the middle of all this. What do you do? What do you do? What does the scripture say? Because you went to church on Sunday, we're going to church again. This is traffic. Mind you, I'm in a grid. Is it gridlock? Traffic jam. Okay, this is Agege Okoba Road. So the gridlock is caused by this vehicle that is trying to turn, this articulated vehicle trying to turn. Okay, so free road again. Proverbs 29 verse 2 says, when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. But when the wicked rule, the people mourn. So just take your microphone, go to the street now and see what's going on. People are literally mourning. Like even without them speaking out, people are going through hardship. I was on LinkedIn yesterday and I saw, not yesterday, that was on Friday. I saw a advert for an accountant, um, account officer, and they said I can chartered, you know, BSc, I can chartered opportunity for 200,000 naira, and the person was bold enough to, the company was bold enough to put it on LinkedIn. Now 200,000 naira, that's 200 liters of fuel, not up to 200 liters of fuel, because at 1,200 naira, that will probably give you 1,600 and something liters of fuel. What am I saying? That's 160 liters of fuel. Yes. So if you drive, so driving is luxury in Nigeria. God, it just means you are going to fuel your vehicle maybe 3 times in the month with your salary. You cannot eat. You cannot. Okay, forget driving. If you eat, so a plate of meal in Victoria Island or anywhere, you want to eat good meal, you probably spend about 3,000 naira, 3,500 naira, right? And just do two of that per day, right? Two of that per day. Controlling for variables like fasting, like all those things. Just do two per day on the average. Another articulated vehicle turning. Okay. So just do two of that on average, and then you have, that's about 6,000 naira on the average. Let's say 6,000 naira per day. Do that per month, and then you have 1,000 or 180,000 naira. So all that happened was that you ate, right? You ate from your salary. That's all, and your salary is gone. So it means I'm in Agege now. There's still no light across. There's no light. So it means you ate, turn right. You could not transport, or you transport, you beg for food, or you have to depend on somebody else working. So if you now depend on somebody else who's earning 500,000 naira, now take note that the statistics released by the fiscal um, committee led by Taiwo Oyedele told us that that less than 2% of Nigerians earn 200,000 naira and above. So I use 200,000 naira as the benchmark. That's even the 2% we're talking about now. The less than 2% are the ones I'm talking about. So not to talk of those who are depending on them. But eventually, you that you are earning 200,000 naira, you have someone you depend on, maybe earning 500,000 naira or 450,000 naira per month. He has to carry other people, and so it goes round. It goes round that way, right? So that's how the government is, and you now that crude oil is being sold at over $100 per barrel. Remember that the budget benchmarked crude oil at, I think, maybe about $60 per barrel, thereabout. I'll check. Now the excess that's going to come from selling crude oil at 100 or even over 80, as at 70, 75, they already surpassed the benchmark. So now it's 100. The excess that's going to come would not stop this government from borrowing. And when I say this government, all government that has governed Nigeria, all the regimes in Nigeria, it will stop them from borrowing. It seems to be the same. There's no empathy. So they will borrow and still sabotage the future of our children, such that if you grow in Nigeria or you are a government inheriting any position in Nigeria, you are inheriting debt, not assets. You are inheriting debt. These are concerns. Proverbs 29 verse 2 says, when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. How does that concern you and I, believers, children of God? It is to see that the criteria for bringing in or for electing or for casting your vote, the criteria should be righteousness. You should look for candidates who are righteous. And if you do not find any, I mean, would I say do not vote? No. If you do not find any, you pray. And when you pray, you also participate. Because the righteous cannot come into power if the righteous do not, if the other righteous do not come together and participate. You know, I got information that about 9 mayors in London, I don't know, about 9 mayor of London, not London, 9 mayors in England, mayor of London, mayor of this, I think Manchester, mayor of that, and just like that, he said they are now Muslims. And these people got there by elected because it's a democracy. In a democracy, it's a game of numbers. And you can now see why these bandits or terrorists are depopulating Christian majority communities in the north and middle belt, in north central, northeast, northwest, Benue, Niger, Plateau, Zamfara, Maiduguri. You are a Christian community, you come to just depopulate you by kidnapping and killings, and so they fill it with their own type. With the end of a gun and other blood-thirsty and blood-wasting ammunitions. Christians, our responsibility is also to multiply our kind, not by violence, because the scripture doesn't teach us that, but we have to be strategic. We have to use the law, the systems on ground to also come together and understand that we are fighting a war of righteousness. Righteousness exalts a nation, or sin is a shame to any people. If we want to grow in Nigeria, we have to grow by righteousness. And it is by when we come together and present our candidates and come out in our numbers and vote them into power. I don't know if you understand. It's a game of numbers. We have to participate. At every point in time, voter apathy seems to continue to be on the rise in Nigeria. You see number of registered voters, you see about 100,000, let's say, just for instance, and you see number of people that came to vote, 22,000. What happened to the remaining 78,000 people? Uninterested, they are disinterested. They say, okay, they say we should not vote in blah blah because how many of you can really be oppressed? It's a game of numbers. That's Jumat. It's a Yoruba saying that Jumat means a lot of persons. Right? Agbajo Olafin Soya. That's a Yoruba proverb that says it is the putting together of hands. I mean, that's what you use to hit your chest to boast and say yes. It is in coming together that you have strength. It is in coming together that you have strength. If we cannot unite as a people of God and bring the righteous into power, we'll continue to have it like this. Are you saying that the reason why Nigeria has remained like this is because of righteousness? Yes, the righteous has not ruled us, yes. And it's not just at presidential level alone. At the subnational and various offices and parastatals, we have righteousness has to be the criteria. I think my rant this morning is, but this is a challenge to us. Righteousness exalts a nation. When the righteous rule, the people rejoice. You want joy? You want peace? It's by righteousness. That's what the scripture says. And this holds true. The founding fathers of the United States of America are Christians. You can see the foundation. Go to UK, the same thing. So many people are leaving Nigeria and running to the UK, right? Because righteousness is what built the foundation. Now there is a battle for those lands also, because there are people who, because there is war almost everywhere. There is economic instability. So people leave everywhere they are to just go to those lands. My prayer is that as they relocate to America, to that's North America, that's Canada and US, and to UK, they should find the true light. Right? They should find the true light. If you are a Muslim and you're watching this, I am not in any way against you at all. It's just it's an issue that the majority of bandits and these people, turn right. They shout Allahu Akbar before they commit their nefarious activities. But that's not an indictment on you, the Muslim. My prayer for you is for you to find light, to find peace, and find the truth. As you navigate your economic situation, that you do not depend. I know there's also something called economic jihad. I mean, you see people. That's not the topic for today. I pray that you find the light and find peace and find truth, and that you locate righteousness, such that you two can join. It's not a religious issue. You can join hands together with every righteousness-seeking people in the country, and bring in leaders who are righteous, leaders who fear God and who have empathy for the people. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Have a great week ahead.